guys, it's me. It's Nikki Averstock, and this is my author advice segment. Remember to like and subscribe for lots of videos on writing and publishing and all that, along with my amazing content of smack talking reality shows. So this is a review. This is not, I don't get affiliate money. This is not an ad. They don't know that I'm doing none of it. I just wanted to talk about a product that I personally use, and I got an email from, which is Pluralsight, S-I-G-H-T, plural as in more than one. And obviously it's in the title. I mention it because they are doing a free April. So if you, so I thought, okay, I'm going to hurry up and do this in case anybody wants to take advantage of it. It's free. You can go sign up. It's like you sign up and then they send you a link like within 12 hours and like get you into the system. I'm not sure why it works that way, but normally they have a 10-day free trial. So if you are watching this video anytime other than April 2020, they do have a 10-day free trial, which was almost enough time for me to do what I needed to do. And then I think it's $22 a month, or I think, and so I did 1 month. And so that was enough for me to do what I'm going to do. They have a wide variety of technical classes. I only looked at the Photoshop, and now that I have the free month, I'm going to try the WordPress. But if you have anything any sort of program, I would go ahead and check out their classes. For this specific video, I'm going to focus on Photoshop for either making your own graphics, making your own book covers, or like we call them like teasers, or like BookBub and Facebook, you can use custom images for your ads. So that is the focus that I am kind of coming at this with. But if you are a technical person, go and check out, because they have so many classes. They have focused on the idea of providing training. So if you're someplace and you need employees to be able to use a particular program, they can go there and they can learn how to use it. Now, I'm going to kind of back up as authors, which is the focus of these conversations, and talk about Photoshop, why I picked it, and what the class that I recommend that you take if you are thinking about either designing your own covers, or at the very least, because covers are so important. If you cannot pull off your own cover, then at the very least, you can do your own ads. And you can use ads and teasers and things like that as a way of improving your graphic design skill, and then maybe working up to either designing your own covers, or at the very least designing alternate covers, because it is a widely held belief that you want to try rotating out your covers. So any particular genre has preferences as to, if you are a super hot, steamy romance, you have, we call them man chest, sometimes with no head. If you have something a little bit sweeter, it might be couples. And I'm getting a little out of my depth. I write cozy mysteries, which tend to be vector or cartoon drawings. A lot of people call them cartoon drawings, but they're technically vector drawings. And that is very common, or sort of a painterly style image of a location is also a style. And so at some point, my goal is maybe next winter, when I have my seasonal affective disorder really kick in, is to redo my covers, my blurbs, do all that. And it's just a good idea, because people who maybe weren't drawn to your original cover, no matter how good it is, you cannot make everyone happy. Sometimes it's good to give it a kind of facelift. And so that is I love my cover artist. I think she's amazing and brilliant, but I cannot afford to have a second set of covers, especially for a series that's seven books at this point. That is well over $1,000 for me to have her redo those covers, and I just don't know that I can get that much more out of a series, because I'll have to redo everything, and so I'm going to try it. So I have gone with Photoshop. There's another program called GIMP, which stands for, it has some graphical it's an acronym. I'm not crazy about the name, but there you go. But it's very similar to Photoshop, so a lot of the stuff that you learn in Photoshop can also be applied to a similar agent. Now, there are classes. When I started figuring, okay, I need to figure this out, I need to, use Photoshop, I started looking for a class, and a friend recommended Pluralsight. It's on my computer, that's why I keep gesturing at it. And the reason that I liked doing it was because the class covered all the basic things you needed. Did a lot with selection tools, which is when you are assembling a cover or a teaser, what you need to be doing is using either royalty-free images from a royalty-free site, or buy tokens or buy stock photos from a stock photo site and follow all of their rules. Always, 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 always. The last thing you want to do is it's stealing if you don't do that correctly. I will talk about Deposit Photo has a deal once a year where you can buy 100 credits for $50, and that's what most people I know do. But that is another video, but you do that, you get the images, and what mostly happens to happen is you cut out, you're cutting out people, you're cutting out images. If you're doing something like my covers for my paranormal cozies, you have to have a cat in there and a witch's hat and a silhouette and a this and a that, and so you are assembling pictures. And this site talks, they have the website you can use, they have an app. I mostly use on the website, and literally how I used it was you can speed it up a little bit, so I would put it at like 1.5 speed, because they covered in the beginning, they covered a lot of stuff I would never need, like storyboards. That's for, I don't even know what that's for. I think it's for websites or apps or something. And then when they hit a section that this is like, oh, this is information I need, I would go to just a normal speed. I would write down the name of the tool, kind of what it does, and then I would pause the video and I had to open up Photoshop and I would practice with it a couple times so I got a chance. Because it's really easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm following, and then all of a sudden you're not following. If you want to see 2 covers that I did after using this class, that's my Casino Witch Mini Mystery series, The Case of the Murdered Moose and The Case of the Criminal Christmas. And I'll try to remember to put those links in the bottom. I'll try to remember. And you can see they're very simple. They're not over the top crazy, but they are also short stories, and I couldn't afford to spend the full price for a cover for something that I was going to be selling for 99 cents, so 30 cents of royalty per sale. It's going to take me a long time to earn back the money that even an inexpensive pre-made would cost me. So I made one image, and I tried to make it in a way that as I continue to add short stories to the series, I can change out an element. In the first one, it was a scary tree with a pumpkin. Then for the second one, I put a Christmas tree in, and then I guess I'm going to have to stick with holidays, so it's super obvious, but I'll keep doing that. So for Pluralsight, I'm just pulling up the name of the class that I took. Photoshop CC Fundamentals, taught by Matthew Pizzi, like pizza, but with 2 eyes. They also have a class by him as well that's just selections, so how to select an item, because the difference between like slowly trying to get your mouse to move around something. There's also a class on just type, and then I'm actually going to try this time, since I have it free, I'm going to try a WordPress site, because I have a WordPress website, and I'd like to have a little more control over that. So I consider Pluralsight, like I said, I don't get any money back from it, but I'm always trying to look for classes that I feel have, and you can go to the website, you can look at the classes, you can see what it covers, and it covers all of the basics that you really need to assemble a cover. They have exercises, they have images you can download, and try to make a cover. Now I'm going to say a couple of caveats. This is a whole separate topic, is, should you be making your own cover? And it's probably one of the best ways that people can save money, but it is a very, very competitive market. So if you are even considering making your own cover for a self-published story, you need to spend a lot of time looking at covers on Amazon, on Kobo, on different places. Amazon, people are usually on Amazon, so that's a good place to go to see what is the style. What are traditional publishers doing? What are indie publishers doing? What books are selling? And that you can't just go and look one day, because one day is just a snapshot. And if people have a aggressive advertising campaign, you could have a book that's not really selling have a high rank, because if millions of people are seeing the book, some of them are going to click and buy it just because it showed up and it piqued their interest that day. So you want to look at it for a long, long time. You want to get an idea of you know, what's working and what's not. And then you need to have a really good graphic designer eye. I do not have the best eye, but my husband does. And I have a group of friends that really just naturally have that gift. They can see, they can say, oh, add a drop shadow to your, you know, to your type, or okay, you're too close to the edge. And so it doesn't hurt to try to make your own covers and then get feedback, but definitely don't let it be an area that you skimp out on just because you think, oh, $150 for a cover, I'm not paying that, or $200 or $300 or $500. And at the same time, you want to be really careful hiring cover designers that kind of pop up out of nowhere, out of, you know, a lot of people go on Fiverr. I don't know anything about Fiverr. I don't know the quality of it. But we had a whole, there's been situations where someone popped up out of nowhere, sold covers that were actually real existing books. They pulled them offline, they removed the type, they sold them for $50, and then they disappeared. And so guess who's caught holding the bag on that? You know, you can say, hey, it's the cover designer's fault, but if they're in another country, which, you know, a lot of times they are, or even in their America, and you can't trace them down, you're going to have to now get a new cover, and you could potentially have, you know, a black smear against your name. So you want to work with cover artists, or cover artists who use non-royalty free images. And you don't know that, and then all of a sudden one day a photographer's coming to you with a takedown notice and a bill, that kind of thing. Now, that is not a huge worry if you just go with cover designers who have a large portfolio, who, you know, have work that is out there that, you know, they can tell you. My personal one, the way it's done, she'll charge me for the price of the stock photo, and so I can see where she, you know, where she got it from. She got it from Adobe Photos or something like that. So I know that she paid for them. And has, you know, has a license and that kind of thing. So anyway, long way around it. I'm just kind of trying to get some more information out there. That's all the great stuff about Pluralsight. I don't get any kickback, but I hope you enjoyed if you try it out. Thanks.